What makes a small, isolated country one of the biggest concerns for the world's most powerful superpower? North Korea is not a global economic giant. It is not a cultural superpower. Yet, the United States considers it one of its most serious national security threats. Why? Is it because of nuclear weapons, missile technology, human rights issues, or something deeper rooted in history? Today, we break down the real reasons why the US sees North Korea as a threat. 1. The Korean War, where it all began. To understand today's tensions, we must go back to 1950. After World War II, Korea was divided into two parts. North Korea, backed by the Soviet Union and later China. South Korea, supported by the United States. In 1950, North Korea invaded South Korea, starting the Korean War. The United States intervened to defend the South. Millions died, cities were destroyed. And when the fighting stopped in 1953, there was no peace treaty, only a ceasefire. Technically, the war never officially ended. This means the US and North Korea are still, legally speaking, at war. That unresolved conflict laid the foundation for decades of distrust. 2. Nuclear weapons program. The biggest reason the US sees North Korea as a threat is simple: nuclear weapons. North Korea began developing nuclear technology in the 1980s. Despite international sanctions and warnings, it conducted its first nuclear test in 2006. Since then, it has tested multiple nuclear devices, including what it claims to be a hydrogen bomb. Why does this matter? Because North Korea has also developed ballistic missiles capable of reaching South Korea, Japan, US military bases in the Pacific, and potentially even the US mainland. For the United States, this changes everything. A country that openly calls America its enemy now has weapons capable of striking American cities. That is not just political tension, it is a direct security concern. 3. Missile testing and military threats. North Korea frequently tests ballistic missiles. Some are short-range. Some are intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. Each test sends a message. These launches increase regional instability, alarm US allies like South Korea and Japan, force the US to strengthen military presence in Asia. From Washington's perspective, unpredictable missile tests raise the risk of miscalculation. A single mistake could escalate into conflict. The fear is not just attack, it is instability. 4. Regional security and US alliances. The United States has strong alliances in Asia, South Korea, Japan. The US has military bases and tens of thousands of troops stationed in the region. If North Korea attacks South Korea or Japan, the US is obligated to defend them. So, any threat from North Korea automatically becomes a US problem. For America, protecting allies is critical to maintaining global influence and credibility. If the US fails to defend its allies, its global leadership weakens. That's why North Korea's actions are seen as more than regional issues, they affect global power balance. 5. Human rights and political system. 1 minute. Another factor is North Korea's political system. It is one of the most closed and authoritarian countries in the world. The US government frequently criticizes North Korea for severe restrictions on freedom, prison camps, lack of political rights. While human rights alone do not cause war, they increase diplomatic tension. North Korea sees US criticism as interference. The US sees North Korea's system as dangerous and unstable. This ideological divide deepens mistrust. 6. Failed diplomacy and broken trust. Over the years, there have been attempts at diplomacy, talks, agreements, summits. In 2018 and 2019, US President Donald Trump even met directly with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, something no previous president had done. There was hope, but negotiations eventually stalled. The main issue? Denuclearization. The US wants North Korea to completely dismantle its nuclear weapons program. North Korea wants sanctions lifted and security guarantees. Neither side fully trusts the other, and without trust, progress becomes nearly impossible. 7. Is it only about weapons? Some experts argue that it's not just about nuclear weapons. It's about unpredictability. North Korea operates in isolation. Information is limited. Leadership decisions are centralized. From a strategic perspective, uncertainty increases risk. For the US, unpredictability from a nuclear-armed state is dangerous. 8. Why conflict hasn't happened? If tensions are so high, why hasn't war broken out again? Because the cost would be enormous. Millions of lives at risk. Severe economic consequences. Possible involvement of China. Both sides understand the risks. That's why, despite harsh rhetoric, direct conflict has been avoided. Deterrence, the idea that both sides would suffer massive damage, keeps the peace for now. Conclusion, strong ending. So why does the US see North Korea as a threat? It's not just one reason. It's history. It's nuclear weapons. It's missile technology. It's regional alliances. It's distrust. It's unpredictability. For America, North Korea represents a unique challenge, a small but heavily armed state willing to defy global pressure. And until nuclear tensions ease and trust is rebuilt, this rivalry will likely continue shaping global politics.